We are part of the Fired Up Sports Network of shows. Please check out other Fired Up Sports Network podcasts like the P-Lot Pod, Water Cooler Talk, Bell Smashers, Philly Sports Love and Pain, Drunk on Broad, Beer Battered Sports, and the Fired Up Sports Show, which are available on all major podcasting hosting sites and social media. Also, check out Mark Ramos' Roundup on Fired Up Sports.com, which breaks down the happenings going on with all your favorite local teams.
The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions.
Swinging a miss, struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Flyers are going to win the Stanley Cup. The Flyers win the Stanley Cup for the lead. Yes!
Iverson, wow, what a fake off Daniels as he broke his ankles and got all the way to the cup.
Oh, well, look at us. Still Super Bowl champions.
Still the champs.
Still bathing in all the Super Bowl gear as it starts to trickle in. I'm sure none of our significant others want to see what's coming in, and every package that arrives is like open with our bated breath and awaiting the bills that trickle in that coincide with purchases in and around the beginning of February. But it still tastes good. Rich, you haven't had a chance to voice your breakdown, your analysis, your thoughts, your feelings, emotions from the Super Bowl.
I was a good old fashioned ass whooping. It was great. Yeah, it's is my mic coming through choppy again? Son of a bitch.
It's all right.
Hello.
Hold, please.
Hello.
Hold, please.
We'll switch positions. Here we go. We'll swap it out. Here we go. We'll put everybody in. Oh.
I don't know.
Who knows? Who knows? Who cares? But the birds are on top.
That's all that matters.
It's really all that matters. I mean, that could not. I mean, Joe, you and I broke it down. The belt to ass tour was in full effect. I'm sure Rich will give us his full analysis when we can get the mic situation figured out. But it's all good, man. We're starting to the wheels are turning for the next the next wave of things to come. We've got we're in the thralls of the draft combine. You've got all of the rumors and conversations in and around free agency. Joe, only because I know what Rich's take is going to be. Talk to me about all the BS conversation around the tush push, because it's happening everywhere. It could not be more stupid conversation.
Yeah. We're the only team to perfect that play. We're not the only team to do that play. And that seems to be a league-wide issue, and now it's come to the forefront again. You see a couple of these teams come out and say that they want it banned. You're just hoping that this doesn't get enough traction to where they're going to be able to get it to a vote, and where they're able to move on it and get it out of the league.
Well, listen, even if they do get it to a vote, Joe, they need a 2/3 vote
Not
for
gonna
it
happen.
to pass, and
Right.
it's they're not going to get that. And I think when you talk about like you can't just outlaw a play because a team has learned how to do it really well.
No.
Like that, and there is some reports that came out that talk about the injury and health situation in direct relationship to that play, and there's no
Zero.
there's no evidence for it at all. So I think for me, like this play isn't going anywhere. It's not going anywhere, and the only way that I see, you know, could they make some kind of adaptation where they remove the player from the back that you're able to push, but that happens on regular plays,
Right.
right? Like that happens when there's a running back and that you got 10 offense, you got 5 offensive linemen that are all pushing that pile. So like you can't have your cake and eat it too. You got to be able to like either say it's a play or not, but I don't think you have the evidence to be able to support whether or not it is a play that I think people just don't like it because it's not pretty. It's
Right.
not flashy, but
They-
it's definitely effective when you have almost 2 tons of humans pushing people around and you got a quarterback that squats 600 pounds and a running back squats
yeah. Because it's Philly.
They ain't us.
Because it's Philly, and yeah, I mean we've worked on it. You know, I saw a clip the other day. I don't think it was online. They started doing the tush push, and in Indianapolis when Sirianni was coordinator there. You know,
Very true.
they had Philip Rivers, but then they used Jacoby Brissett to run that play. But you know, they've done their research, they've studied it, and you know they've got it down to a science. You have a quarterback that could squat 600 pounds, and you've got arguably the best offensive line in football. And you know, one of the key integral parts to that play is Jordan Mailata. Jordan Mailata comes from a rugby background, so and then you add in a guy like Jeff Scotland. They're able to, you know, it's positioning and leverage. And I mean, they've done scientific studies on this. The Eagles have an advantage because of their technique, and the Eagles have an advantage because as soon as you're hiking the ball, so you're starting to play, so you're already a step ahead. The defense can't stop it. Science says that the defense can't stop it, and it's unfounded that the league and these teams are coming out and trying to push the whole injury narrative. There's been no injuries that have been connected to any pushes, whether it's the Eagles or it's any of these other teams. So I think it needs to they need to just let it be, and we need to not have to address it anymore.
They need to just shut up and just deal with it.
BTA.
That's the problem with the league.
Yeah,
I just think it's ridiculous.
that
It's every
they
fucking
don't
year.
have. Yeah, the problem
Every
is
year.
that they don't have enough information to be able to negate it because they found that this is what good teams do, though, right? They exploit the advantages and they build a play to be effective in the short yardage. And just because we do it well, right? You can't say the same for other plays, right? If there's a play that other teams are doing, it like
We can't run a wide receiver screen to save our life. Ban them. The other team's going to ban them? We're going to ban them for them?
right? And you look at like
60-yard field
that.
goals?
Look at that. Look at the AFC Championship game,
Ban it.
right? Josh Allen ran their version of it, and it wasn't effective. You saw plays earlier in the year with Jordan Love where he's running it with the
He
Packers,
looks drunk.
and
Yeah.
and it's not effective. So like, if it's not a safety issue, if it's just you don't like it because it's an ugly play, sorry,
And
but
suck
like,
it.
right. You can
But to
suck
be
it.
completely honest
it's
with you,
first
the
and
reason
9.
why Josh Allen was stuffed is because he was trying to go straight up. It's all about leverage. It's just getting lower than
Yeah.
the next guy. It's basically what they tell you in football. If you get the low man wins. So why are they like the teams complain because they can't do it? Not because they can't stop it. It's because they can't do it. If they could do it as well as the Eagles would, then everybody would be doing it. But
Right.
they're not. It's not like it's a league-wide problem that we're not using punters anymore, we're not kicking field goals, and we're making things obsolete because every team's 100% with converting because they're able to do the tush push. One team does it better than everybody else.
Yeah.
That's all there is. How about you get rid of the hard count then? Because some quarterbacks are really good at the hard count, and they make guys jump. Oh, get rid of the 60-yard Brandon Aubrey field goals because, hey, he shouldn't be able to kick them because he's automatic from 60. Like,
Yeah.
just because you do it better than somebody else doesn't mean it needs to get banned. There is no medical evidence. The only person who got hurt on the tush push this year was Chris Jones because he laid sideways like an asshole in the Super Bowl.
That was kind of funny. I'm
It was
like,
hilarious, but he couldn't
if
stop
you
him.
could not have put yourself at more of a disadvantage, right?
I know, it was absolutely hilarious. It was
How
the
is that
stupidest thing
not an
from
illegal formation?
I mean,
what,
you technically
him lining
really
up that
like
way.
you technically really don't have to line up towards the other team, I guess.
So they could have all lined up like a Congo line if they wanted to, right?
I mean, if you wanted to, but lining up like science would tell you, right, that lining up in that direction puts you at a disadvantage. You're starting at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah, I would think
oh
so.
gosh, like I don't know.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I just think it's stupid. I think it's one of those arguments that every year that they have, and it's just absolutely dumb. Nothing's gonna come of it because people are just gonna be like, we can't do it better than.
Oh,
Like,
most definitely.
you can't get mad. Like, you can't get mad at that. There's a lot of things
Not-
the Eagles. No, I'm just kidding. There's not. We're Super Bowl champs. We do a lot of things better than a lot of teams.
That's what
Yeah.
the fuck I do.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So I got to get
Now-
back to my Super Bowl thing because I didn't get a chance to talk to
I
you.
was gonna say,
You know,
Rich, the
it's-
floor is yours.
Yeah, dude.
Come on, Rich, bring it.
It was incredible. I was sitting here and I was fired up. I was fired up over the AJ Brown pass interference. I'm like, dude, if it's going to start like this, it's going to be a fucking terrible game. And then, as the game got more acclimated, I was like, all right, I'm feeling better. The Dallas Goddard. I'm like, all right, that was a gimme. Sitting here, my dad, Ollie's running up downstairs, watching it with Jamie, watching down here. She comes down here. My cousin, we're watching it, having a good time. And then it was just the onslaught, and it was just the Jahan Dotson catch, and it's just like, oh my god, he's in. All right, he stopped close. You know what's coming. So then you get the Jalen Hurts touchdown, and then the field goal. Right, the field goal came after that, and then it was pick six, and then my favorite thing was watching this Eagles defense that I love, and my boys, my Jalen Carter doing what he fucking does best. Nolan Smith fired out of a cannon. Milt Williams looking like a stud. Josh Sweat deciding in his final year as an Eagle to try to play the game of football, getting 2.5 sacks. I mean, it was incredible. And just from a whole game and team perspective, like we talked about it beforehand, and we knew it wasn't going to be close. We talked about how the Chiefs were frauds, not in the sense of they're a terribly coached team and Patrick Mahomes isn't as good, but they haven't played a team like the Birds.
Yeah,
the Birds came out and did everything that we me, you, and Joe, and the rest of Eagles Nation know, but nothing that the analysts or people who don't watch the Eagles thought we were capable of. But we know what we were capable of because we just did it the week before.
yeah.
And we were constantly rolling. And this defense, I mean, Jesus Christ, Zach Bond, can you lock up an extension any quicker than the interception in the Super Bowl?
Jesus, I mean, and Rich, talk about that little. There were a couple little sequences that I'd love to hear where your thoughts are, right? Because you have you left off talking about the Cooper DeJean pick six, right? And then they come back the next possession, first pass, and it's the Zach Bond interception, and then the next play is the AJ Brown touchdown, and within 3 plays, you score 14 points, and it goes from 10-0 to 24-0 within less than a minute. And then you have another sequence later on in the game, right, where you have the Avante Maddox of all guys,
The pass
right,
breakup.
right, the pass breakup on fourth and one, and then you turn around and you throw the dagger to Devontae, and
Just the fucking dagger, dude.
Yeah.
and
Kill shot.
It was just incredible. Like it was a surreal moment, watching it. And I'm sitting there watching my dad. He's like, "Motherfucker, man, took me 73 years to get two of these." And he's like, and it happened so quick. He's like, just watching it, and he's like, Ollie gets a fucking Super Bowl. He's like, how crazy. He's like, Ollie's 6, and he gets a Super Bowl. He's like, I had to wait till I was 16
yeah,
before I got mine, and it's just crazy. It's like you're talking about, and you really take advantage or take things for granted of like how good this team is and how they can be good for a very long. This could be like a perennial Super Bowl team, which they should be because they did it the right way. They won
yeah.
it and they drafted. I mean, we gave Howie so much shit, but my God, look at his past 4 years, first, second, third round draft picks. It's just insane.
They're all
Jalix
starters.
Hunt, dude. Jalix Hunt played out of his fucking mind in the Super Bowl, and that guy was supposed to be just like a
Yeah,
project, like a waiting in the wings guy, Joe's boy. Like holy shit, dude.
yeah. You ready? I'm Rich on the second screen. I'm literally watching a little highlight clip that says the caption says 3 years ago Jalix Hunt was playing safety at Cornell.
Yeah.
He's now a rookie starting in and this play sequence that they're showing is he is lined up out wide and going up against Joe Tooney, right? Who's all pro, gets moved from guard out to tackle, and he puts Joe Tooney on skates and literally runs him right into the back of Patrick Mahomes. Like you got contributions up and down your roster from young guys, and that's what has me a little bit confident, right? As we start to have some of those conversations about the guys in free agency.
Yeah.
I have a lot of confidence in the way that they've built and constructed this roster because their talent evaluation right now. I mean, I've heard a lot of people talking about Howie Roseman being the best GM in football. Right, Howie Roseman's probably the best GM in professional sports right now.
Right now,
with the way that he's. I mean, and coming from they're in their second Super Bowl in 3 years.
Yeah.
They're in their third Super Bowl in 8 years.
Yeah.
And with a completely turned over roster.
Yeah.
It's the kind of thing that I really look at the way that the way that they're building, and like when you look at their offense, the only starter that they have the potential of losing is Mekhi Becton.
And I don't think he's leaving. I think he's coming back. I mean, Shefty even was reporting that, he doesn't want to leave. And to be completely honest with you, if I'm Mekhi Becton, I'm not leaving because I look at it as this team took a chance on me. I was one foot out of the door, and then I came here.
I mean, let's be honest, Rich. He was like he had both feet out the door.
Yeah, he was done, and the Jets destroyed him. Like the Jets really did kill all his confidence. Being a first round pick, being such a high first round pick, and he comes to Stoutland U, and he gets to play with the best offensive line in football.
Mm-hmm.
He's young. You want to, and here's the problem. I understand it's a business, and you want to go out there and get your money, but at the same time, what's the difference between 12 and 14 million when you get incentives for winning playoffs and Super Bowls? That's what I want. I mean, everybody says, okay, yeah, you want the big contract, you want this.
Mm-hmm.
Sacrifice 10, 20 million if you're winning Super Bowls. Because that extra money that you're going to get, you're going to some shitbag team where you're not going to look as good and you're not going to be surrounded by talent. And then everybody's going to be like, well, maybe it was the Eagles who made you good because all that talent you played against and you're really not all that. Like, that's why, like, I laugh when I see, like, Josh Sweat's a hell of a player. But he's going to ask for 4 years, 80 million? Josh, bro, you're coming off your best fucking season, my friend, and you're getting older.
and the sad thing is, Rich, he's an edge rusher in his mid-20s who's and someone's going to give it to him, right?
Someone's gonna give it to him, and it's
Right?
gonna be
Bears, right? Bears, Cardinals, Patriots, right? There
Oh,
are teams out there that
ton of money.
have to spend money to get to that cap floor. So
Yeah.
like the and you know, we could have the same like the conversation in terms of free agency, right? The Milton Williams is another guy, right? That like
I would love to keep
25 in the prime of his career next to Jalen Carter, absolute animal.
anybody you put next to Jalen Carter is going to be good. So Milt, I love you, but if you're going to be asking for $100 million, you're going to be out of your mind and sitting in free agency for a long time.
Right, and like I think he has the potential to probably get a contract close to what like Javon Hargrave got when he went to San Fran.
I don't think so.
No?
No, I don't think so. I mean, he's another guy you got to look at over the course of his career. Like Javon Hargraves, when we got him, was a stud, and he was getting into his second contract, and he was coming
True.
like 3 really good seasons. I mean, you're going to invest a lot in him because he's young. But again, what system and what team are you going to go to? And that's how I'm like looking at free agency. If I was a professional athlete, like I'm going to where 1, they know me, 2, I'm the starter, 3, I already fit in, and I might be playing, you know, against or with the best defensive tackle in football. So if I can line up next
Yeah.
to that guy, that's going to make me look a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah, I think what they're projecting is a contract somewhere in the neighborhood of $20 million a year.
For Milt? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, all right, see you later, kid.
Yeah.
Like and I think the signs were on the wall when they were doing the locker clean out when he came in with the clutch sports hoodie.
Yeah. Well, and have fun being a Cleveland Brown, buddy.
Yeah. Cleveland Brown, future Chicago Bear, Arizona Cardinal, New England Patriot,
Yeah.
like Jacksonville Jaguar.
Yeah, dude. And that's the thing. Like, you almost don't want to be a highly coveted wide or player because then you're just going to go to a team and die. I mean, yeah, you got your money, but hey, man, pay him and become Hainsworth. Who fucking cares? I don't give a shit. Once you're off the team, dude, see you later, cuz.
Yeah, listen, love you. See you at the reunion, but like,
yeah, ain't seeing you at
you
the
know,
Super Bowl.
we'll welcome you back when when they have the reunion and they're putting another Ring of Honor somebody in. But like, sorry, if you ain't wearing green that year, then
Fuck you. That's
Yeah.
how it always is. That's
yeah.
how it
But
always is.
listen, the guy that I think everybody is recognizing the importance is is Zach Bond, right? And what Zach Bond brings in terms of leadership, and what he brings in terms of his connection and his ability to be able to facilitate Vic Fangio's defense.
Mhm.
You also couple that with the Nakobe Dean injury and know that he's probably going to get a late start to the season. He's not going to come in healthy.
Burks too. I'm fine with bringing both those guys back.
So it, like, to me, and the one thing that might be on their side is that he's a little bit older.
Yeah.
Right? He's not a guy 22, 23, 24 and coming off the year that he had. He's a guy that's in his later 20s, has played in the league for a little bit, that kind of the similar conversation that we just had with Mekhi Becton, right? Came to a situation where he was kind of a cast off in New Orleans, didn't really get a chance, came here, got an opportunity. I think that to me has to, out of those 4 guys, in terms when I talk about like money and commitment, I think that he's got to be the guy that's got to be number 1 on your list.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
Absolutely.
Let's see. So, I mean, he's like, what I'm looking at is they're talking 13 a year.
I'm giving him 15. Fuck it. I'm giving him 15. Who gives a shit? 15 over 4 years? Yeah, thanks, dude. And then you hit 30, and then you're gone. Like, yeah, I'll give you that.
I think he can get. I think he would you know, take slightly less to stay with a Super Bowl caliber team, like 336 or something like
You just dominated the
38.
fucking league.
Give him give him a signing bonus and roster bonus, all that
Mhm.
crap. But yeah, I mean, for me and you guys are the same thing. I think he's your number one guy that you have to bring back because uh, Dean's going to be out. He's going to miss half the season from what they're saying as of right now.
Probably the first quarter, but yeah.
At least the first quarter. But if Dean's out and Bone's not here, you have Warren Burks and you have Trotter. You know, or what are they going to do with Burks? And then okay, Jeremiah Trotter Jr. by default, you're going to have to start now. I
Right,
mean,
and Joe, remember, we're also looking at the roster as is, right? They are going to probably, like, my guess is that they are going to go out and bring in guys from outside the organization as well, right? So, like, if you know, and you never know what other teams are going to do, right? So if there's another team that comes in and offers Zach Bond $22 million a year, and the Eagles are offering him 13 or 15, like I'm sure on some level there is a walk away number,
sure,
but like Dre Greenlaw is a guy who's also a free agent, right? Who, like there are going to be guys that are going to be interchangeable that they're when that walk away number hits, they're going to like there are going to be guys that they're going to have to make tough decisions on.
sure, yeah. I mean, Vic is the ultimate coordinator where he can, take their strength, plug a guy in, and really get the best out of them. But I mean, it's not an automatic though. Like you can bring guys in from
True.
the outside, but just the having the guys that you have now and trying to bring them back the familiarity they had, the camaraderie, and the way that they played together last season. I mean, you're gonna do whatever you can to make that happen.
Yeah.
And
True.
Zach, I mean, there's going to be a break where you got to say, what are we willing to do and how far are we willing to go? But there's got to be a point where, say, well, we just can't get to that level, and you have to, he's 29 and he had that year, and who's to say he's going to have another year like that? Um, and
True.
he already won a Super Bowl, so what
Yeah.
else does he? What else does he have to prove? I mean, he might be, you got to put yourself in his shoes too. He might be looking for, he might just be looking for that financial security for his family, already having a taste of what it's like to be a champion. So
Right. Like I look at his situation and I go, what do I want to? This is probably going to be his last contract. This will be his first and only big contract. But if I'm in the later part of my 20s and I know that time is short on my NFL career, do I really want to spend it? Do I want to spend it bathed in a pile of cash, or do I want to spend it with a team and an organization that I know is going to take care of me and I know is going to surround me with a shit ton of talent for the next handful of years because they know the window that they have with the group that they have. Um, Talk about two guys. So Isaiah Rodgers is a guy who played a pretty important spot role, right? Came in when there were times where Slay was coming off the field with various injuries. Um, he's a guy that was a reclamation project that they brought back, and he was really productive for them in the role that he played. And then Kenny Gainwell too.
I think they both sign. I think they both come back, to be honest with you. I think Rodgers comes back on like a 2 year deal. I think Gainwell comes back on a 1 or 2 year deal. I mean, there's not many organizations that are in need of a number one. So if you're going to play a complementary role, I mean, I'm playing a complementary role, and I think Kenny Gainwell knows it. Like, this is the best offensive line of football. Anything happens to Saquon, I'm going to be running wild over these dudes. Like, I can stay here. Like, I have a home. I can get paid. Kenny Gainwell made 2 huge tackles for us in the Super Bowl too. Like, he
Yo,
kept Kenny in open field. Like, my man's a fucking beast.
I mean, he saved a kickoff return
And
very easily.
I think he'll be in the market for getting $3-4 million a year. Remember when we were like talking, oh, Tevin Coleman, and Tevin Coleman got like $4 or $5 million. Like, what the fuck? Tevin Coleman sucks. Like, I think Kenny's in like the role for like a 3 year, $12 million like contract, $8 million signing bonus because Howie will just throw all the money in the front to leave it all open in the back. Like I can see
Yeah.
that happening, like for Kenny Gainwell, and everybody in the organization seems to love
Mhm.
him. Fans love him. Isaiah Rogers, he looked like he was having way too much fun being an Eagle.
No, he was his off the field stuff was the content was really good.
Yeah, he's hilarious. And
Well, and wait, hold on. Did you see that? Did you see his post Super Bowl, the post Super Bowl Instagram post
no,
about him betting on himself?
oh,
And I was like, "That's
Well played.
well played,
Well played.
well played, my friend." And it was like literally him, like going through a series of like Super Bowl, like all his Super Bowl gear, and they would like change outfits in between.
that's awesome.
And then the caption was something about him betting on himself. It was very well done. But yeah, no, I agree. I think that there's definitely a handful of guys that you're going to be able to let go and replace them very easily. But I think there are a handful of guys, those two guys included, that I think are you're going to have opportunities. Now we know they're going to draft well. We know that they're going to look to be very strategic in terms of how they address these needs. What is there are there any of those guys that are who's the least likely guy not to come back?
Josh Sweat. Josh Sweat's not coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Milt
pretty.
Williams most likely not coming back.
He's the biggest contract.
Yeah, those two guys are going to go get their money. But I honestly I don't see Bond, Becton, Rogers, and Gainwell going anywhere. I mean, Rogers and Gainwell, like Rogers isn't going to get huge corner money. Like, and if you want to be in a rotation, you want to be a cornerback in a rotation with the best defense in football. That's where you want to play because they're going to make you look good. And then, hey, if he has two good years, then he can sign somewhere else. And hey, get paid. Kenny Gainwell, I still see him being an Eagle. I would love to retain Kenny G. But yeah, everybody else, and then we'll just figure it out like from there. I mean, I don't think we have real notable free agents besides those guys. So if we can retain 4 of the 6, I would be happy with it. And Oren Burks, try to bring him back again because we need that linebacker room with Dean being out.
I think at the very least, Rich, I think you look to bring him back to create some level of consistency.
Yeah.
But you don't want that room to be young and inexperienced. So I think that's where I think I lean on Zach Bond being number one priority. But bringing Oren Burks back, and let's not forget the role that he played on special teams. He made some key special teams plays, especially early on in that the Packers playoff game, right? The opening kickoff, setting the tone. I think you've got an opportunity to be able to. You don't necessarily have to run it back with every one of these guys.
No.
Because you can't. At the end of the day, you can't pay everybody, but you do have an opportunity to be able to bring back guys that are going to positively impact this roster and kind of fill in the gaps other places. Now,
but we also had the money from Bradbury going to be coming off the books with the post. I think like June 1st cut that saves us a ton. If Slay is done, that's going to save
Slay's
us.
Deal. If he's traded or released at some point, I think they could save somewhere $17 million.
Yeah, 17 million is that's about the number.
So, and right now they're sitting at I think around 22. So you're looking at close to 40. Obviously who stays, who goes. Then how he's probably going to try to like restructure some of the guys, maybe Lane or maybe some of the other guys he can restructure and save a few.
We're at 23 right now, but the cap just got up to 279. So that gives us.
Yeah, I was going to say it went up another 20.
Yeah, extra
24. Yeah.
So then, you know what the fucking hilarious thing about this? Sorry, sidebar. The funniest thing about the cap going up is the Saints still can't do anything. The Saints still can't do anything.
But Derek Carr, they said Derek Carr is going to be the day one starter.
Yeah, and fucking Kellen Moore's going to be a coordinator in 2 years. So.
Oh God. Well, listen,
we're going to have like $60 million at a point. So When does free agency start? Does that start next month?
Not
May.
I want to say like early
First-
March,
I mean March, not May. March. Yeah.
Yes, I'm going to say.
March,
Yep.
like early March.
Look it up. Look up the exact date. I can't because I'm doing this on my phone, or I would.
I got it.
I
Hold on.
feel like it starts like the Thursday. Like it's either like the second. Or no, it's a Tuesday, isn't it? What's there's a tampering?
There's like a legal, and then you go through all the bullshit of like the legal tampering period, and
yeah.
um,
Don's always keeping us in check. Got to keep
I'm
Don.
trying here. When does NFL free agency start? It starts March 12th at 4 p.m.
I was going to see the 10th. All right, cool. So that's hey
That's
man.
is that a Tuesday?
Yeah, it's Tuesday.
Yeah, but yeah, you'll start hearing news like the weekend before. Like,
Mhm.
nothing could become legal until March. Well,
I'm so
Most definitely. And I think when you know when you're talking about NFL player movement, right? You know that like we all know that like everybody and their mom is at the combine right now, agents, but a lot of the conversation that's happening there is around player movement on teams that are guys that are already on teams.
Yeah.
Primarily Myles Garrett, which
they're saying they're not moving him.
yeah, right.
Rich, they're gonna say that they're not moving him until they have a press conference that says that they're moving him.
Yeah.
Because they haven't been on the phone with Howie before. I really, for some reason,
That's Andrew Berry, dude. That's his boy.
Yep.
Listen.
What's up, bro?
I
Come on, bro.
really do feel like something gets done there.
I would love it.
And you have the capital, right? You have the appeal to him. You know that you're going to have to offer him an extension. And I don't think it's going to require nearly as much as people think. Like you can probably get it done for like a first, a second, and a third, or a first, a third, and a fourth. Like you can get it done with draft picks. You might have to throw in a player, but like
2 2s and Darius Slay. See you later.
Throw in Bryce Huff.
Bitch ass.
Throw in Bryce Huff.
And Bryce Huff.
They might say no to that deal.
You want to give me 2 2s and three guys? All right, sounds great.
But I look at that and I look at that in the same way that the way the team got rejuvenated when they found out that Saquon Barkley was going to be on offense. And you heard AJ Brown talk about they can't run it back and run the same exact thing. They're going to have to evolve, right? They bring in Kevin Patullo to replace, Kellen Moore, and they keep that position. They move that position in house as a guy that's worked with Nick since he came from Indy, or since Nick was at Indy. I look at Myles Garrett as having the ability to have that same effect, but on the other side of the ball.
Agreed.
And I think that the Eagles organization recognizes that this is their window to be able to. They have the team and the cap space, and they have it all in place to be able to be legitimate top of the NFC, top of the league contenders for the next stretch of years. If you have the ability to be able to add that guy and put him and Jalen Carter next to each other, and I know we've talked about it before, but like imagine a line of Myles Garrett, Jalen Carter, I guess who would it be? Moro Ojomo and Nolan Smith.
Yep.
Oof.
Right? And then you've got Zach Bond and N'Kobe Dean, or Zach Bond and Jeremiah Trotter.
Yeah.
Or Burks. Definitely.
Or Burks. Right? Like you have the ability to be able to strengthen both of those position groups behind the line by doing exactly what you did in the Super Bowl, which is only rush 4. I think that's some of the wildest stuff that came out of the Super Bowl. The fact that they didn't blitz and that they never even stunted. They never ran a twist. No one ever it was just a straight rush.
So let me ask you a question, because Zach Bond totally blitzed. They never called it, and Zach Baldwin was like, "All right, I'm not going to spy anymore and run in." Because if you don't remember, I remember because they kept saying they never blitzed. Zach Baldwin kind of ran right up the middle on one play, right at Patty.
Late in the game. Was that late in the game?
Yes,
Hmm.
just saying. Watch it again.
You might be right.
No, I'm saying no. You're John. I'm not correcting you. I'm
No,
correcting.
no, I'm not, no, because now I'm like playing it back now that I'm like thinking about it. I'm like,
Maybe it wasn't a design blitz, and he was
Yeah.
supposed
it,
to by and took
true,
off. That's what I'm thinking. That's what
could
I'm gonna.
be.
I'm gonna say. You know what? He was using his noodle. He
It
knew
was a
what was looking
defensive
for.
indifference. We were up by 62 points.
I mean, listen. To be honest, at that point, the score was 40-6. So
Fucking nutty was that. Did you see that YouTube is trolling Patrick Mahomes and they're like, his top plays of the Super Bowl started when he was down 34-0?
Gotta love it, man.
yeah, I mean, not to go off on a stat tangent, but like the fact that like at one point the Eagles had 24 points and the Chiefs had 23 yards
Yeah.
was wild. The fact that they didn't get into the Eagles side of the field until 2 minutes left in the third quarter,
Yeah.
like to start with 9 straight possessions, not being able to get in the other team, just wild stuff. But Vic Fangio,
Go.
wild
So
job of being able to take care of what he needed to take care of, and I when I look at this and you talk about this team and how young it is, Rich, I'm going to give you some numbers. Right, Cooper DeJean is 22.
Yep.
Quinion Mitchell and Jalen Carter, Jalix Hunt, Mora Ojoma are 23. N'Kobe Dean, Nolan Smith are 24. Jordan Davis is 25. Reed Blankenship is 25. Like you're young and you're young and you're talented in all the right places.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It is so nuts, dude.
there's only three guys I think on the roster or that start that are 30 or over. It's Lane, Graham, and Clay.
Yeah.
Do you think Brandon Graham comes back?
No.
I wouldn't.
No, I mean he's what 36.
Yeah, he'll be 36.
Yeah, I mean you've 2 Super Bowls. I think from looks of it, it looked like he wasn't 100% or he reinjured himself after the Super Bowl. He had that rapid 6 game.
Yeah.
He's got nothing else to prove. It's time for the young guys to get in there and get that.
I mean, how about Nolan Smith ends up he plays the entire second half with a torn
And
tricep.
I went back and dude, I watched the Super Bowl. I think every day, like the Christmas Story. I just looked over, I was like, oh yeah, it's like Christmas again. I specifically watched him in the second half. He literally was using one arm.
That's insane.
Because it was his
And
left
then
arm. If you go
the
back,
second half
look
is
at
where
plays.
Jalix Hunt got a lot of his snaps too.
Yeah. If you go back, if you do watch the Super Bowl again and pay attention to the third and fourth quarter, you can see where he's literally just using, it's like opening a door. He's just using the one arm to try to, get engage the lineman and get around the lineman. But I mean, hats off to him. And I think he had 4 pressures in the second.
Yeah. He was a man possessed. Like
It
I don't give a fuck.
doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't get a sack, but he's disruptive. He was blowing up plays. He was pushing the pocket back to the quarterback. So, I mean, they all were. It was something that was just it was unbelievable to see. It was unbelievable to watch. It was like you kept telling yourself throughout the game, it's like, are we up by enough? Like we're we're up 24-0. We're up 27-0. We're up 34-0. And I'm like, holy shit, 34-0 against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. All right, gentlemen, better 3-letter phrase. BTA or BDN?
Oh man.
BTA. Belt to ass, baby. Because
Yeah.
we needed a lot of magic to beat Brady. And I'm glad we got our first that way. Thank you, BDN. But let's be real. We dominated the Chiefs in a rematch where we should have beat them the first time. This should be our third Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yep.
We dominated them. Belt
Yeah.
to ass.
Yeah.
All
And
that.
did you guys? I'm sure you probably caught some of the behind the scenes stuff. The footage of their dinner, their meeting the night before, and to hear Saquon Barkley speak, and for the confidence that they all had, just was like emanating out of all of them. And they were like, "This team, if we play our game, this team cannot stay. They cannot stay with us." And I'm going. I'm literally what I'm going. Man, I needed to hear that before the Super Bowl. It was really, it was just dominant. And when you look back at the season, right? They lost one game, legit.
Yeah. Yeah.
The two other games that they lost, they were within one play
One penny.
of winning
Yeah.
winning both of those games.
Yeah.
But
Otherwise, and they didn't just win; they literally beat the ass off of
Belt to
most.
yes,
Because-
from snap from the introduction by my guy Bradley Cooper
Yeah.
when he rolled
I mean-
out there with his kid and he introduced them. I mean, that was just
Yeah,
dude.
can we talk about the Super Bowl being a fucking home game?
Yeah.
That place sounded like a home game.
Dude, it really
All like the whole time.
did. It was nuts. It was
Travel,
great.
baby. We travel.
We travel and nobody wants.
Take Philly takeover.
And it's like it's weird because we're not like the Eagles aren't a team like to hate. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't get people like you don't hear a lot of people like, oh, I hate the Eagles. It's like no, we constantly get shitted on by everybody. Nobody.
They hate us, the fans, because we're obnoxious jerks.
Yes, because we're drunk, obnoxious jerks that get
Right.
well,
Right.
Get over it.
And we give the other fan bases a hard time. You better fucking believe we do.
Yeah, no shit. Like what else are you supposed to do? Like
Yeah.
come on. So I get that, but it's like Jalen Hurts is still getting disrespected. Like
Yeah. Even though he won.
still.
Yep.
Yeah. The all right. The wild disrespect that Jalen Hurts is getting right now is
It was
absolutely atrocious. The fact that some of these and I know why they're doing it, but like if you're sitting there having a Jalen Hurts or conversation,
Yeah. The fucking Trevor Lawrence thing was disgusting.
Trevor Lawrence, CJ Stroud, like say like Brock Purdy, like
What?
like
I want
if you
a guy who wins.
right, like if that is your take, like you can't say that shit with a straight face.
You can't. Can't take it seriously.
I just which makes me tune out to that stuff even more. When I see those clips of mine, I'm like, good. I'm glad I do not spend time watching that stuff because I'm looking at it going, I don't understand how he does whatever his team needs him to do that week to win.
He really does.
All he does. Right? And how long have we heard him say, right? Keep the main thing the main thing. The main thing is walking away with a W. Doesn't matter, right? Stack the box. We're going over top. Lay back.
Yeah, he threw some fucking dimes in the Super Bowl.
Yo,
Threw some fucking
he threw some pretty like that throw to Devontae Smith.
then fucking Saquon just going like this.
No, it
Before he
literally
caught it.
was Rich. It was literally the reverse, right?
Yeah.
Because in the Rams game, when he hands the ball off to Saquon, Hurts is
Yep.
two hands up as soon as he handed him the ball. Jalen didn't even let the ball go. And Saquon is like right next to him going, that's 6. Like,
And dude,
I mean,
hearing the
he has
stuff-
outplayed
the stuff-
Mahomes twice on the biggest stages. And the guys that they're taking ahead of him in these conversations
guys who've never
aren't beating Patrick Mahomes in regular season games or playoff games. Jalen Hurts has outplayed him twice
Play. Every game they
in
All
two
3
Super
games
Bowls.
and that regular season game too.
Very true.
Every game they played.
Yep.
And I loved hearing the NFL films when the offensive
The mic'd up was
yeah,
awesome.
the assistant offensive coordinator, the running back coach came over and was talking to Saquon. He's like, "Bro, they're doing everything to stop you." He's like, "But that's all they focused on was stopping you." And he's like, "And look what's happening. Look,
Yep.
look what's happening because of you." And he's like, "All right, yeah." He's like, "Just keep doing what you got to do. Just keep doing what you're doing." He's like, "They only want to stop you." And like, we got this. Like, it was cool. Like the coach was like, "Bro, we're putting up 35. They're selling out to stop you, but they can't stop anything else." Like, that was their game plan. Like, the Chiefs' game plan was like, Jalen Hurts really isn't good. Um, he can throw the ball, which we know he can. Like, that's our quarterback. That's my quarterback. That's my QB1. Like, the only thing that guy does is win. And, this year we had our doubts. Could he do this? Could he do that? Oh, he fucking figured it out. And it wasn't one of those, it took him long. Something like switched in his brain to where he became the Jalen who does, like you said, does what is needed to win. He's not out there forcing things, trying to make shit happen. He's just live to fight another down, and I'll beat you either way I want. Good luck. And it's
Yeah,
just
you heard him. You heard him talk a little bit about how much that Super Bowl experience, first time against the Chiefs, how much that changed him. Right?
Yeah.
It created an entirely new perspective for him to fuel the energy to get back, and knowing that the goal was not just to get back there, but to get back there and prove people wrong. And it was just it was awesome to see. And the Super Bowl parade.
Hmm.
Talk to me about some of your favorite moments from the parade.
Go ahead, Joe.
Being there. Well, for me, sorry, Rich. Sorry, Rich. I mean, just being there and being a part of that and soaking that in, especially with my son, who, I mean, they won the first time he was 9, and he wasn't like, he watched football, but he was like into gaming and stuff like that. To be there with him, and now he's 16, and he plays cat, and he plays NCAA football. He talks sports with friends, and then to transition that over to watching games and being up on all the players, and all the stats, and watching all the clips online. Uh, it was just, you really can't put those moments into words. Uh, how much it means to us, and then seeing how much it means to your kids and your family. Like, that's really what it's all. That's really what it's all about. And being able to spend that time with him was priceless. And then just to see, like, that's like the biggest party that you're ever going to be a part of. It was just people and crowds, and everybody's happy and celebrating and climbing light poles and climbing trees, and
Yeah,
and
Like to climb trees.
just the city was shut down. Like, there, it was just people walking everywhere, and food
yeah,
trucks, and just that environment and that feel, and seeing how much a team can be supported. A city can support a team like no other city or fan base in the world. Is just being part of that is, it's really hard
yeah.
to put it into words. It's just an unbelievable, incredible, euphoric feeling.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Joe, I had a very similar experience, right? The first time my brothers and I went down to the art museum together. This time we all went down with our kids. Like, we took each one. It was a unique kind of experience, right? Because not all of our kids wanted to go, but each one of us had a kid of our own that we brought down there with us, which, having that ability to be able to, share that experience with them, you know, even at 14, throwing Kip up on my shoulders, walking them into a crowd and having them do an Eagles chant was like, you start to get to share those memories and those experiences with them. We'll remember that much more than we'll remember the 4 hours we sat in traffic trying to get home.
Oh,
But it
dude,
was
I mean, we took public transportation, but the walk over and then just like, I'm 46, but I felt like I was probably 86, probably like an hour or two into just, standing.
yeah.
And it's just like, it's just like the crowd, like it was so tight. Like there was no room to fall. Like you couldn't have fallen because there wasn't even enough space to fall. Not feeling your feet. My back hurt, my legs hurt, my feet hurt. But I would, I wouldn't have traded it for the world. It was just being a part of that, and the magnitude of all that was just, it was overwhelming, and it was amazing. I mean, you couldn't have written it uh, uh, any better. And just being a
No,
part
not at
of
all.
that, and being surrounded by you know all strangers that we didn't know, but we were all there for the same thing. We're all there supporting the same thing. Just probably
Right,
did
Joe. Strangers, but not right.
right. We
Like
probably broke
we're
out in
all
126 different Eagles chants, but hey,
yeah, 100%.
dude, price.
But like some of the stuff along the parade route. Obviously, the whole Love Hurts campaign. Not a wonder that they scheduled that shit for Valentine's Day.
Dude,
Like
clutch.
that stuff was epic. The GJ sweatshirt was awesome. Swifties flipping the Super Bowl logo around with that was you got Landon Dickerson walking on the street cursing
Yep.
saying go fucking birds.
All
Like
I gotta say is go fucking birds.
right. AJ Brown talking about they can talk about how he's a diva and talk about how he's into stats, but now they got to talk about him as a champion. And I saw this. I'm trying to see this stat that I saw the other day about him and him compared to the guy they traded. Who did they draft? Who was the wide receiver they drafted? The Titans.
Fucking Traylon Burks.
Birds.
Traylon, like AJ Brown has like more, like just as many Super Bowl appearances as he does like Traylon Burks touchdowns.
Touchdowns.
Like it really is wild. But when you look at the way on the art museum, Saquon having the ability to be him finding a ball boy along the parade route,
Yeah, it was
pulling him out of the crowd, putting him on the bus, like.
Yeah.
Just so many cool moments. Yeah. God bless the mayor, but the mayor can't get out of her own way sometimes.
Wrap it up.
Wrap
it up.
Yeah,
Wrap
her
it
quote
up.
when she's standing up there and they're chanting "Wrap it up," and she goes, "Nothing is possible if we work together."
Yeah, nothing is possible if we work together.
Oh my God. Just to see the way that the city comes together in those moments.
You want to
It's
know
just a really, really, really awesome experience.
a fun fact is the mayor's speech was actually longer than the time the Eagles spent trailing in the whole playoffs. 5 minutes and 51 seconds, and the Eagles trailed in the playoffs for a total of like 5 minutes and 32 seconds.
Wow.
So 20 seconds long. So that's like putting it into perspective on Jesus Christ. Because I'm not going to lie. I picked up Ollie from my dad's house coming home from work. They're watching the parade. We get into the car at my dad's house, and we're driving home, and all of a sudden the mayor comes on, and I'm just listening. And I'm like, and Ollie's like, Dad, who's that? I'm like, it's the mayor. He's like, what's she doing? I'm like, I have no idea. I pulled up to my house, and I'm like, I can't fucking do it. I turned the parade off. And then Ollie's like, Dad, you don't want to watch it? I'm like, Bud, she wouldn't stop.
Yeah.
She wouldn't stop. And I came back on, I put it on, and she was still on. I was like, this is
Yeah, and the way that they had it on, where they were they're hitting the mute button
Hated it.
a little too late. It was just bad. Like just pay the FCC fines and just call it a day. Rich, I got the stats for you. Ready? In 3 seasons, AJ Brown has played 47 games. Treylon Burks 27.
Wow.
AJ Brown 261 receptions. Treylon Burks 53. AJ Brown yards 4,031 yards to Treylon Burks 699.
Wow.
25 touchdowns to 1.
Wow.
Treylon Burks has
I can't
one
believe
touchdown.
Treylon Burks has 50 receptions. That blew my
Right?
mind.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was that high.
Yeah.
Not think it was that high. That's crazy.
Kind of wild,
He's
right?
better than AJ. I remember they were talking that shit on draft day. Oh, he's better than AJ. This guy's going to be the second coming of him. He's going to be what he isn't. Okay. Okay.
How'd that work out?
Yeah.
My cousin, my cousin
Unproven,
still,
right, gentlemen?
my cousin is still reluctant to talk to me about the whole situation.
Oh, I can imagine, Joe.
He's
If it
like-
were Joe, if it were in reverse, I wouldn't talk to your
He's
cousin
like,
either.
he's like, you better
On the show.
appreciate all this shit. My team went to the Super Bowl one time and lost, and you guys stole AJ Brown. He's like, I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Joe,
Joe, we should have him on the show to talk about
Yeah.
Abdul Carter.
Huh?
We should have him on the show to talk about Abdul Carter and how he's going to be on the Eagles in 5 years.
Yeah.
Dude, I feel bad for Abdul Carter. Like, he's trying to leak information out there that he's hurt. Might have surgery.
I want to go to
He
Philly. Oh shit! I broke my foot.
He could not make it more obvious at this point.
Dude, he's trying. I loved him. They're like, he might need surgery and not be ready for 7 months. And then the thing coming out 20 minutes later, the doctor at the combine does not advise he needs surgery. He's probably like, fuck.
He came out today and he was smoking weed with Meek Mill.
Yeah. Dude,
somebody
we gotta get him
somebody,
Larry
somebody put a
Tunsil.
caption with him
Facebook.
with the who was the guy?
The mask.
Tunsil.
Tunsil. Larry Tunsil.
Dude, we got to do something. Inject him with steroids, like, real quick. Like, he wants to be here so bad. So bad.
That's
And he can't. And it sucks. It's not, but the greatest thing is, it's like, not if, but when.
When?
Like, comes Abdul Carter. Like, and I love
I mean,
that.
for Christ's sake, he was wearing an Eagles hoodie at the Super Bowl with his name and number embroidered on it.
The dude just, like, let it happen. He needs to pull an Eli Manning and be like, I'm not playing for anybody but the Eagles. Just do it. We need to start doing this, guys.
I mean, isn't that what Shador Sanders is going to do?
Nah, he's... Oof. Who's got the first pick? The
Yeah.
Titans, right?
Titans.
They're going to go Hunter.
I would.
Well, they were going to go Carter.
I was going to say, if it were me, it'd be between him and Abdul Carter.
Yeah,
How about Harold Landry? Any interest in Harold Landry?
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it, but no, I'm not paying him. He's got 2 years left.
He wants a new contract, right?
Yeah, he wants a new contract.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Rich, you're going to go Tennessee, Cleveland, New York, New England.
Cleveland is probably going to go get Cam Ward. That's what they're going to do at number 2. They'll get Cam Ward from Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Sanders will fall to probably
The Giants,
then be miserable and still suck. Yeah, Carter probably go 2. Or no,
Travis Hunter falls to New England.
I don't think so, dude. I think he should go number 1, to be honest with you. Number 1, or like, if I'm the Titans, dude, why not? You need a corner. You need a guy who can play both ways. You need wide receiver help. It's just fucking Ridley and the one guy who had 7 catches all year for 8 touchdowns. I don't know how.
Quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they do need a quarterback, but they're nowhere near.
No.
They're nowhere near ready.
Nope.
No, I agree. Gentlemen, final thoughts on the way out the door?
Final thoughts. I was actually thinking this. It might be because of this tea, the Cheech and Chong's raspberry. It's delicious.
Nice.
It might be because of that. But what I was thinking was, how embarrassed is that guy from Washington who did the takeover of the Hard Rock Cafe? Like, I want a documentary like following his everyday life after he left the stadium. Like, I want to know, did he get fired for taking over the Hard Rock? Because I would fire you. It's a terrible restaurant. Um, and two, like, how was he feeling watching the Eagles win the Super Bowl after all that shit that he was talking and standing on the table at the Hard Rock Cafe? That's my final thought. Where is really in denial
Taylor,
Redskins fan? Where's he at?
don't know, Jerry. You got a final thought?
I got. That's my final thought.
Uh,
Real good
Shout
thought.
out to Howie Roseman for toughing it out at the parade after taking a full beer can off of his head.
Yo,
And Josh
that
Flynn
was.
laughing
We
at
didn't even talk about that. That was awesome. That picture of him facing the camera with the cigar hanging out the side of his mouth, aviator shades on with the big giant scar. Yo, I sent that picture to Chip because Chip is like a big Harry Potter guy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Howie Roseman, the boy who lived.
He trademarked, I believe, for the city.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude, I need
smart
that.
as
So
hell,
many
man.
shirts I need to buy. So many shirts.
Shout out to Howie.
Yeah. Yeah,
Josh?
listen, it's all birds all the time until you
Further.
know summer that like even past like the Sixers are abysmal, the Flyers are
Eh.
Don,
entertainment.
Playoff P is focusing on a championship. He's done with podcasting.
Well, listen, he waited until they like that's like he is such a joke, man. Like you would have been better off just keeping your mouth shut, just shutting it down for the year and never saying anything. But to be that that dense, to not even be aware
I
that
hate
like
that.
people are putting out stats about you put out more podcasts than games that you've played, and that you missed 3 consecutive games with a fucking pinky. Like, come on. I don't that team
I hate
is
that.
like 5th on my list of behind the Union at this point. The Flyers are entertaining, and I'll watch Mishkov because he's fucking
Agreed.
fun to watch, and he's Russian, and he's 19, and he'll be here for a while. And then the Phillies will just, we'll get that friend back for the summer and just kind of, I will tell you, the creature comfort of just having the game on in the background.
I do love baseball in the background.
Yeah.
It hit something wild on Sunday when I was like, oh, wait, I can sit on the couch and just have the game on.
Yeah.
I love having baseball back. So I'm excited about that. And, we'll be on here, just keep talking birds, all birds all the time. So, Rich, take us home.
You stuck around, you fucked around, you found out. That's Don, I'm Rich, and that's Joe. We are Drunk on Broad. And as always, we are the 2-time fucking Super Bowl fucking champs, baby.
Let's go.
Let's go.
It's about to ask.
Fucking champs. And if you hate us, it's because you ain't us. All right? Don't ban the tush push. Fuck Dallas. Fuck Justin Tucker. Fuck Deshaun Watson. And I feel really bad for, who's the guy I always said? Joe from the Eagles. The guy.
Taylor.
Dude, I'm so sorry you weren't on this one again. Fuck you too. We're out. Philly, we love you. Peace.
Go
Go
birds.
birds.
Go Birds!
Go birds.
The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions.
B-A-T